And that is a wrap for weekend 1 of the Call of Duty Black Ops 6 beta. What do you think developers hit the nail on the head with, and what do you think needs work? Feel free to light up the comment section. If this is your first time here, welcome, and if you are returning, welcome back. The beta allowed us to have access to a variety of weapons from all around assault rifles to SMGs or whatever the case, but figuring out which one is ideal on this new set of maps and modes is no easy task, and making the wrong choice could see you wallowing at the bottom of the scoreboard.
Life's not fair, is it?
Let's talk and dig a bit deeper into the weapons that are in the Black Ops 6 beta. And if you weren't able to get your hands on the beta this past weekend, you'll have an idea of what you're getting your hands on this upcoming weekend. So first, we're going to talk about the top 5 weapons in the beta, and then we're going to go over a tier list that is influenced by Charlie Intel. I did not make the tier list, just keep that in mind. And we have 4 different tiers, S through C. So S, we have the absolute meta weapons that are viable on virtually every map or mode. A tier are very strong options that won't let you down, but may lack some of the strength of the S tier weapons. And C tier are weapons that you probably want to avoid in the sweaty situations. If you're in a lobby and it's kind of body, feel free to run around and just have a good time with them. But when things start to get a little bit sweaty, you might want to avoid the C tier weapons unless you're just like that. Now let's talk about the weekend beta heavy hitters. First on the list, we have to talk about the LR762 Sniper. I personally didn't get my hands on this weapon at all, but I was getting slammed by this weapon, especially on Scud, which is a terrible map, by the way. If you like Scud, you cannot be trusted. But this sniper reminds me of the PTRS from Call of Duty World at War, if any of you guys remember that. Again, this weapon was giving me a really hard time. If you're looking to snipe in the Black Ops 6 beta, there is no better option than the LR762. This lethal sniper rifle is an absolute monster at long range, eliminating players with just one shot as long as you're hitting key areas like the upper body or head. Naturally, there are certain maps and scenarios where you'll need something a little bit more close range, which is why this weapon is tiered where it is tiered. We will get to that in a minute. But if you're playing to its strengths and careful about where you snipe from, there aren't many easier guns to rack up kills with in the entire game. Next, we have the C9, which I had some pretty good moments with over the weekend. The C9 is essentially an MP5. In my personal opinion, this is the best feeling MP5 type weapon since Modern Warfare 19. And according to Charlie Intel, this is the best starter weapon. The C9 might be the first SMG you unlock in the beta, but it's also one of the strongest options. As it closely resembles a classic MP5, players will immediately be at home with its rapid fire rate and impressive range, and you are actually pretty mobile with this weapon. On top of all of that, it is extremely easy to use thanks to its low recoil, and again, that nice mobility. So while you're getting to grips with the overhaul moment and learning the maps, you can still rest assured that your aim and accuracy won't be an issue if you're running the best C9 loadout. Next on the list, we have the XM4, which Charlie Intel is pegging at the best all-arounder. Fans were excited to hear that the XM4 will be returning to Black Ops 6 after being pretty dominant in Black Ops Cold War. This assault rifle did not disappoint. While it doesn't necessarily excel in one specific area, its strength lies heavily on its versatility. You can go on some tears at medium and close range. You can also post up and get picks from a distance. If you prefer to pick enemies off from afar, the XM4 can hold it down. But with the rapid fire mod, I think this actually competes with the submachine guns. If you're unsure of the best gun for the job at hand, this rifle is always a reliable backup that will not let you down. And at number 2, we have the AMES-85, or the AIMS-85. Charlie Intel pegging this at the best assault rifle. Although Black Ops 6 encourages you to move around the map and get close up and personal, there is still plenty of room for a top tier long range rifle. The AIMS-85 is exactly that, and it acts as a perfect counter to the more aggressive players. Whereas the XM4 is a great all-arounder, the AIMS-85 that acts as the Krig from Black Ops Cold War thrives when dealing with enemies at a distance thanks to its laser accuracy and forgiving recoil. By positioning yourself smartly on the map and using the best loadout, you can gun down the sliders, the jumpers, the Omni Movement Dolphin Divers. You can take them out with ease before they get close enough to even think about getting a shot on you. Now next, we have the Jackal PDW. This weapon was so dominant over the weekend. This was the best gun in the beta and it's not even close. I'm gonna just go ahead and spill the beans now and let you guys know this is one of the S tier weapons, but the best gun in Black Ops 6 is the Jackal PDW. This fast-firing SMG absolutely dominated the weekend as it can melt through players in an instant with this utterly insane TTK. Since Black Ops 6 puts plenty of emphasis on movement and is limited to close quarter maps, the Jackal is right at home in virtually every situation and perfectly embodies what Treyarch are going for in multiplayer this year. If this weapon doesn't get GA'd, this will probably be the go-to weapon in competitive. I thought that this was pretty much the AK-74U or an AK-74 of some variant, but it turns out that there is actually an AK-74 in Black Ops 6. So what exactly can this weapon be? Throw in the fact that the Jackal is incredibly easy to use, and you can definitely smoke some players at mid and long range. And if you're left with the weapon that stands head and shoulders above the rest, the Jackal PDW will be your best option to shred the competition. Now let's take a look at this tier list here from Charlie Intel. We have the Marine SP and the SWAT 5.56, but let's not completely rule these weapons out. I gotta give a shout out to my boy P Bugs. He was doing some damage with the SWAT 5.56. Now at B tier, we have the XMG and the SVD. So the XMG is an LMG, fully auto but a relatively slow fire rate. But if you are posted up and holding some lanes, you could go ahead and slam some kids with this. And the SVD looking and acting as a Dragunov to a certain degree. This gun wasn't terrible, but I can't really say that I have any highlight comments about the SVD. Now, as far as A tier, we talked about every weapon on this list already. So we have the C9 SMG, the LR762 Sniper, and the AK-74. And that AK-74 that I mentioned when we were talking about the Jackal. And speaking of the Jackal, in S tier, we have the Jackal PDW, the Ames 85, and the XM4. Do you agree with this list? And if not, what exactly would you move around and why? If you made it to the end of the video, thank you for sticking around. I will drop 2 more videos for you on the screen right here. And if you dug the content, consider subscribing. I upload 2 videos every single week, every Tuesday and Friday. All things FPS. We are really gonna lean into the Black Ops 6 content up until launch. Thank you all for your time. All y'all take care, and I'm out.